So let's go ahead and get into number one. That's Wu Chi, right? Wu Chi. Feet parallel, knees slightly bent, tailbone tucked. If ever you don't know what to do, tailbone tucked. Any part of the form, tuck your tailbone. Grip it with your feet. And actually, a good practice is just this. So, you're getting your toes and your feet in sync. And then what we're trying to do is, right now, like if I'm here, my tailbone's turned back a little bit, right? So my weight's actually going backwards, just naturally. When we tuck our tailbone, that brings your center of gravity forward a little bit. And ultimately, you want your perineum, your taint, lined up with your bubbling well, right about there. That's what we're trying to do. Bow one, bow two. So as you tuck your tailbone, push your fontanelle up. And I'm going to be doing some science of stretching teacher certification, and I was looking at the third video, and they're talking about flexibility in the thoracic spine. So when we do this, we're stretching our thoracic spine, and it gets better the more you do it. And so in fact, I was doing this. I do this all day long. Like I'm sitting, I'll just tuck my tailbone and push my head up, and then just hold it. And you can put your elbows in if you really want to stretch your spine to work on that second bow. And so that's something to do on a regular basis. The arm, I'm just sort of simulating. I've got my arms on a chair, but a lot of times I'm just doing this. You're in the car, you're driving the car, just tuck your tailbone, push your head up. So you can do half of Wu Chi. Okay, so pushing palms. Now, throughout all of these, let's try to feel we're making a wave with our body. So every time you push and every time you pull, grip, bend, tuck, push, grip, bend, tuck, pull. So do that first. You're sort of making I'm exaggerating, but you're making a wave with your body and push and pull. But you do the whole thing slowly. Start with the feet, build it up, press. And pull. And now let's open up to the side. So let's go to the right side. And I find it easier to sink and press. Sink and press. Pull. And other side. Should have said that, sorry. Y'all are watching though. All right, now we're going to separate heaven and earth. So we're going up and down the center line, but the left foot is pushing the right hand is pushing the left hand. So grip, actually I'm going to grip, tuck, I'm emphasizing the left side, and then other side, even though I'm doing both feet, but the idea is you're trying to imagine one side of that body pushing the other side of the body. And even here, grip with the feet. Right about here is where I tuck the tailbone. So when my hands pass, grip with the feet, bend the knees, hands pass, tuck the tailbone, push the fontanelle up with the hand. Relax and extend. Anyone getting any articulation, any pops in your spine or anything like that? Okay, this next one will do that. Okay, we're going to do a modification of separating mountains. All right, we'll start regular. So here, push with the heel to push. So the left heel pushes the right pisiform bone out. The right heel pushes the left pisiform bone. And so when I rotate to this side, I'm pushing to the right foot, front of the foot, and then I'm pushing from the back of the foot. So we're doing the figure 8. Notice I'm at the front of the foot, I come around, press, front of the foot, I come around. And the only thing I would do is, I actually do like moving my body side to side, but it's a different stretch if you don't move the body. So actually, you keep the head in place. This is also fine. It's just a slightly different feel. So I can move side to side or I can move in place, gazoon tight. So now let's play with this a little bit. When you're here, grab a tea bag, and then hook back as you press. Grab, tea bag, and then press. Sorry, I don't mean to do that. So pisiform forward, tea bag back. And then look backwards. And do this really slowly, y'all. Really slowly. Oh, I don't know. Do you feel that in your shoulder blades at all? Now tuck your tailbone while you do that. Okay, now here's the final challenge. Everything except keep looking forward. And lower those shoulders as you do that. And we're doing the middle part of Green Dragon, or Swimming Dragon, Dives for the Pearl of Wisdom. Because what you're doing is your midsection, your thoracic section is going one direction, and your shoulders are either locked or moving. So we're doing this with our body. And we're leading with our feet. Okay. Feet tucked as usual, knees bent. On this one, we're going to be rotating. Anytime you're rotating, you want to emphasize the outside of your feet so you don't torque your knees. All right, so grip the feet, emphasize the outside of the feet. Make a triangle with your hands. It goes above the fontanelle and look through it, and then rotate around a point. I'm going all over the place right now. Hey, Ripley. Hey, baby girl. You're a good girl. Okay, toe kicking. I kind of like starting touching, so if you can, a couple things to make this easy. And this is a Paula Abdul technique, all right? For real, this is Paula Abdul. Sit into that hip. Right, I was watching some dancing show and she was leading, and one of her recommendations to the person was make sure to really sink into that hip. So really, if you tuck your tailbone just on the one foot, it actually puts the weight more into your heel. So you can, if you sort of put your weight over to one side and then tuck your tailbone, hopefully you'll feel it. And then when you do this, you have a little more stability here. And then touch, heel, touch, heel. And just for some terminology, flexion, we're compressing. Extension, we're stretching. Flexion, compression. All right, let's go to the other side. Again, sit down, really tuck that. I actually think of it as I'm tucking my tailbone down and I'm connecting my tailbone to my heel through an invisible line. And then heel, toe. Okay, high kicking. Don't bend forward. Bring your hands down to your leg. The height is not is. Remember, we're just sort of warming up our bodies and just getting blood flowing. This what we're doing is not stretching. It's warming up. Totally fine. So take it easy. You're not trying to get very high. And if your leg goes to here, bring your hand down. Don't do this. Bring your hand down to your leg. All right. So come back on the heel of the left foot. Take your left hand and either put it on your side or on your back, and then kick forward slowly and bring your hand to your shin or wherever it touches. Okay, other side. I have to work on that side. Whew. All right. Now we're going to throw some sand on our back. Take your left foot, rotate it 45 degrees. Now, by the way, just a little bonus quiz. All right. I rotated my left foot. What did I do before I rotated my left foot? I shifted my leg. So I'm going to rotate my left foot, put my weight on my right, and then shift the foot. and then step up, and then bring this foot up on the ball of the foot there. Now, I have got hardly any gap here. In a typical cat stance, there is a bit of a gap. We're doing a hooking leg, so I'm not too worried about it. But actually, Linda, your distance is pretty good. In fact, when you came in, it was, but something, you want a little bit of a gap. If you're in a line, this is not stable. You want a little bit of an angle there. All right, so now, tuck your tailbone. Hopefully, you can feel a little more pressure in the ball of your foot, and then sweep some sand up on your back. This is a throw. The arms are not part of it. I'm just throwing, but I'm sweeping under someone's leg and I'm throwing them over me. That's what this is. All right, other side. Again, tuck. See if you feel a little bit of pressure on the ball. And again, you can certainly add the arms if you want. We're about to do arms in sweeping leg, our favorite. Ready for sweeping leg? Okay, let's go ahead and do sweeping leg. Face this direction. We'll break it down. We'll start with the legs, and then we'll do the arms. Actually, let's start with the arms and then do the legs, because we normally do the other direction. All right, so first of all, just do this. Put your arms out, and then rotate them both inwardly, all right? So we're rotating our hands medially in towards the middle. Okay, now take one hand, doesn't matter which. Let's say this one. They're off by 180 degrees. Now I'm going to count. Every time I count, switch them. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So do that for a bit. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, great. That's the arms. That counting works for the feet. So let's do the same counting. Ignore the arms. We'll do the feet, and then we'll put them together. Okay, so 1 is step behind. 2, sweep around. That was sweeping leg. 3, step out. 1 step behind, 2 sweep, 3 out. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now, put your arms this way. As you sweep, swing your arms. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Is Ripley going around or something? Yeah. You could definitely use Ripley as an excuse to not do that. All right?
That was the best explanation ever.
Oh, thank you. That's how I learned it. So, y'all, for those of you who have been here a long time, how many of you, how long did it take you to figure this out? Years. Right. I mean, we could do it, but it was like, yeah, it was just, what are we doing, right? And eventually we broke it down into the count. And so, by the way, when I'm not teaching, I do the count in my head, right? And when I'm in the form, I count 5 repel monkeys. So like there are certain places where I do keep counting, because if I don't, I'll just keep doing it. So that one, that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and also I break it down in the video the same way. So the videos for these are online on YouTube, and this one is there. The videos for Tamos18 are all the first videos I did, so they don't have any special effects. All right, sweeping leg. What is next? Oh yeah, golden leopard. Okay, golden leopard reveals its claws. So first of all, I do this throughout the day. So if your hands are ever stiff, try to get the pads of your hands straight down if you can, and do what you can, all right? Do this for a few, and then do the opposite. So willow palm, take your hands and back. Now you can certainly, Rick sometimes has us do this, and that's a perfectly fine addition, right? But the real addition, okay, so this is, from my stretching videos, this is reverse dog. And so you eventually get to the point where you can do something like that. But the way you start that is, you do this. This is how you start that. And so it feels bad initially, but it just stretches here really nicely. All right. So, but this I do, like, when I'm walking Ripley, my hands get stiff when it's cold, so I'll hold the lead. I'm doing this, and then I'll do this just to like get my hand stretched. Or if she's sniffing for a long time, I'll do some yoga or whatever. All right, so anyway, we're going to step up, step out, and pull apart. Now, a couple of things. We're pulling there's an invisible cord that we're pulling to pull our foot up, step out, make that tiger's paw, and then stretch open. This is a chest opening exercise. And then pull yourself up, down, pull yourself up, out. And right here, tuck that tailbone and pull down. Oh man, I'm losing my balance. I'm still not, these are new shoes and I'm not quite used to that. Okay, so next thing is pushing mountains. These are the mountains. Now, the thing that we often tend to do, most of us do, is when we're going down, we go out first. The motion is like this. It's down and then out. It's not out and down. So it's down and then out, right? And then push. And then I come straight back up. So set the foot, go down, 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 and then out, push down, and then pull back up. So at the beginning, I'm pulling a line of energy up my knee, setting it down, pushing that energy down the outside of my leg, curling it under. I'm going up the bubbling well, up the middle of the leg, bring it up, and setting it down. Let's do one more each side. Okay, so goose beats his wings. Yes. Wait. No, tiger straightens its waist. All right. Eventually I will have these memorized, but maybe not ever. But about the time I am no longer able to remember, I'll have them memorized. Okay, for straightening the waist. For straightening the waist, I typically do this mostly as an external rotation of my hips. So I'm here, and I'm going to overemphasize. I'm actually bringing my legs around like this. So I'm opening up here. Now, I don't do it like this when I'm actually doing it, but what I'm trying to do, I'm tuck, and it's time warp, right, from Rocky Horror Picture Show. A pelvic thrust, that's what we're doing, but I'm doing it a lot more slow. So I'm pulling energy, a ball of energy in, and I'm opening up here. And I'm actually gripping with my feet, and I'm externally rotating my legs. And right here, I'm feeling it opening up here to back here. Right? And then let go and pull in. Am I doing something wrong, Ripley? You have another idea. Come here, sweetheart. Thanks, go girl. Okay, now, goose beats its wings. We started at the beginning, we were doing that wave thing, right? So the wave thing is like something like this. All right. Use that to push your hands up, and then pull the wider. So push up, and then right here, I'm doing something like this with my tailbone, except I'm not doing the front back motion. I'm throwing my hands up. So right here, I start to tuck, grip with the feet, knees, tailbone. Okay. Now, draw the bow to brace the tiger. So a couple things for y'all. When Rick does this, he does it one of two ways. Right? And the only variance is, does he go right or left first, or left or right? So holding a bow, where maybe a horse with, make an L with your right hand, grab with your left, stretch, pull the bow. So I went to the right first, right? So now I'm going to go to the opposite direction, same thing. He always goes up first. So since this is, and we alternate every time, so I'm going up, and it's going to be with this hand. Then he always goes down, always down. Now, we're going to go diagonally down. This is the hand I just pulled with, so now I go this direction. And then he goes up, counter, slides across, and then he goes down diagonally, and then around the tree. So notice, you're just alternating hands around the tree. All right, so that was, if I'd gone left, it would be this way, then up, then down, then that way, that way, that way, that way, that way, that way. But you're alternating hands, right? So right, left, that is consistent throughout that. And then it's always right, left, or left, right. And then it's always up, down. So that's just a couple of things, yeah. And for those of you from the 80s who played Dragon's Lair, anyone ever play the game Dragon's Lair? It was the first game that was released on Laserdisc. And every scene, there were two versions of it, the right scene and the left scene. And so if you saw a flash, you'd go one direction or the other. And so the whole game was memorizing, looking, and knowing if you go right or left here. That was the entire game. Played hundreds of hours on that game. Okay, let's see. Goose. Okay. So now that we've done the wings and the bow, we're going to break a bow. Now the difference between this one and the one we were just doing. So for me, I do most of an external rotation on here. I just grip everything. So right now, everything is gripped, and I'm also bringing my feet together. So this is like a rock down here, and then I tighten everything up, and I bend the bow. And then about my waist, I go, hands fly out. And then tighten from out to in on the feet and the fingers. Tighten everything, but not the neck up. And then let go. One more. And pretend you're doing just the ligaments, whatever that means. I don't know how to do that. Rick says to do that. I don't know how to do that. Okay. Dragon thrashing is its tail. I'm going to put a triangle above our head. We're going down. This, just like before with the mountains, it's not down. It's down, out. So down the center line, sweep out above the head, down the center line, sweep out above the head. Okay, hands together, above the head, and then down to the pineal gland, third eye. If you can't get your elbows together, actually a lot of you can get your elbows together, and those of you who can't, that's totally fine. This is a nice little stretch on your shoulders. And a little trick there, tapping the pineal gland is something that's worth trying. Also, the breastbone is a good thing to do. Okay, dragon strikes out. We're doing Saturday Night Fever, except we're hitting somebody instead of dancing. So this is Saturday Night Fever. It's the same basic idea. We're doing something like this. So imagine grabbing the handle of a bucket and then push your leg. That pushes into the knee. That pushes the hip around. Notice my hand hasn't moved yet, other than relative to my body. And then finally, I hit. Grab a bucket, push, the bucket's delayed, and out. So this is a whip. The hand is an afterthought or a whip. It's the body that does this. Okay, pivot. Push forward, reveal the lotus. We're going to step out. Hands come together at your lower dantian. Come up the center line. Split at the third eye. Open into the lotus. And then Hands come down behind. I use this to push my tailbone forward. Up, I step out on the ball, not the heel. In Tai Chi, we step on the heel. In Tamos18, we step on the ball. Or like a lot of us, I step wherever my foot lands. And I'm lucky that I don't twist my ankle. All right, hands together. We're not going to do swimming dragon because we already did a center twist. I don't remember if I was recording at that time, but when we were, no, I guess we at the beginning there, we sort of were doing a little bit of the dragon. All right, questions or comments about that?
That's great.
Cool. All right.
Great.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. All right, we'll take a quick break and then we'll come back. We'll do some part of the form, okay?